You know the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression? Well, lots of new traffic on the channel this week, and I thought, hey, what's the best way I can chase some of them off? How about I read some Harlequin romance novels and then insult almost everyone's favorite fantasy novel? Let's talk about how I shot myself in the foot this week. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike here again with another weekly update. This is for the last week of February. Now, we had all kinds of goals heading into February, and look, guys, I'm just going to be straight up with you. This is kind of crazy. It's been a kind of insane week as far as like traffic on the channel because, as you might have known, I had a goal of 3,000 subscribers before March. Now, I made this goal before Christmas, I think, because I could tell I was angling towards 2,000 at the end of the year. And I said, hey, how about March 1st? That sounds like a good goal for 3,000. Well, as you can see, we're past that, angling on 4,000, which is crazy for the course of 1 week. And I think, obviously, when you get a shout out from a really popular channel, not only is it humbling, not only is it like very, very exciting, it makes you very grateful, but when it gives you a little bump in your traffic for your channel, you can't be nothing but just over the moon about it. And so that gives me opportunity. I want to say thank you to Nay Bliss. Now, if any of you guys are a fan of Wheel of Time and following Wheel of Time content on YouTube, I'm sure you know who Nay Bliss is. Well, he gave me a shout out in one of his videos, and I'll link to his channel in the description if you are one of the people who don't know about his channel. If you really want to get into characters and lore and history of Wheel of Time, and also probably the best resource for any information pertaining to the television show, he's definitely the place to go to. Super awesome dude, which really is just kind of crazy about this. And we say, it's a wheel. It's all connected, right? It's all part of the pattern, right? I actually decided to read this series because I watched his video over a year ago of, I think it was like 5 reasons why you should read Wheel of Time. And it was non-spoiler. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is a really good sales job. I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. So the fact that he actually gave me a shout out in one of his videos brought a lot of new people over that have just found the channel and stuff. And I can't say thank you enough. I'm looking forward to meeting him at Jordan Kahn. And I would say if he's watched this, the first adult beverage of your choice is on me if you are drinking at Jordan Kahn, obviously. So a big thank you to him, and happy to have him as a friend of the channel, I guess you say. But let's talk about Jordan Kahn. I spoke in that video right here about Jordan Kahn, how I am going to be attending Jordan Kahn this year. It has led me on the insane crusade that I'm going to read the final 5 Wheel of Time books in about 50 days, because it's April 16th, or sorry, April 17th through the 19th is going to be Jordan Kahn. And I didn't plan on finishing this series until July, so I've had to make some adjustments to my schedule. I talk about it in that video about what's going to change, what's not going to change. Basically, I had to push a couple of things back, but nothing severe. Really, all I had to do was rearrange some things. Obviously, Dresden Files is going to take a little bit of a backseat until I finish it. But again, it's only a month. So I had to push it back a month. I had to push Mistborn Era 2 back a month for my Cosmere thing. And anything extra, just it's just going to happen when it happens. But as far as my schedule, my hard schedule goes for my deadlines for the new Stormlight book coming this year and the new Dresden Files book coming this year. Obviously, those have just taken a quick little hiatus as I try to rush through these books. But I'm very, very excited about Jordan Kahn. The last convention I went to was a gaming expo in the early 2000s. And even then, I only went as a retailer. I was working in a retail business at that time. Maybe, I don't really know whether I don't even call it a customer. You're really a customer at a convention. But basically, I wasn't credentialed. This is going to be my first event like this as a media member. So it's a very, very exciting, great opportunity. And I'm looking forward to meeting, some of the winners of YouTube. I think Daniel Green is pretty much like the king of BookTube, right? He's going to be there. Has said, he can't wait to meet. I'm blown away that some of these people even know who I am. I already mentioned Nay Bliss is going to be there. Murphy Napier is actually going to be there. That's my personal favorite booktuber right there. And she is like me. She's going to try to rush through the end of this series here so she can be current on it. But she has even said, if she feels like she's not going to be able to do it, she's not going to be able to do it. And she'll just deal with the consequences. But looking forward to meeting all those other people and hoping I don't come off as too desperate and they let me sit at the big kids table while we're there and I can pick their brain on what it's like running channels quite their size, because while I feel like the channel growth here has been really fun for the first course of the year, they get more in a video of them, Daniel playing with his cat or they don't have to do very much to get this kind of traffic. So with me right now, I'm still at the point where, hey, if a video gets over 1,000 views, hey, it's pretty successful. That's still where I'm at. They get more ads views than I do on things like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to talking to them, seeing any kind of experience they don't mind passing along my way. And just picking their brains, seeing what it's like, seeing if we can put together, like I said, they'll let me play any of the reindeer games, let me do a collaboration. I was thinking about the idea of seeing if any of them will be interested in doing a after show kind of podcast thing for the Wheel of Time when the series starts up. So if they already have plans like that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still such a noob at this. I don't think I'm really going to be registering on the radars too much, but it's really cool to be able to meet them and pick their brains, like I said. A question I had about this was, since you're going to be finishing Wheel of Time early, does this mean that you're going to be starting Malazan early? No, I will not be starting Malazan earlier. I think that I wanted to be able to start that fresh in a new year in January. Gives me time to kind of, clean the palette, make sure it doesn't interfere with the Cosmo or anything like that, because I want to read Rhythm of War. I want to just cram that sucker when it comes out and get to it. And if I feel like if I'm sharing Stormlight 4 Rhythms of War with something else, I'm not going to be able to get the attention that I'm building up to in this course of this year. And for those handful of you that are not Brandon Sanderson fans, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I understand that. I mean, there's people who aren't Wheel of Time fans who are actually fans of the channel. So it does happen. I do try to spread it around a little bit. But no, I will not be starting Malazan early. I want to give it the attention that it deserves. And I want to give the stuff I'm working on the attention that it deserves. So I'll have a clean slate starting in January. And I can jump right in Guardians of the Moon. Right now, the plan is like every other month. Every 6 to 8 weeks, maybe starting a new Malazan book, just depending, I'll be re-entered the workforce by then, so who knows what my daily life will be like at that point. So we'll cross that bridge when it gets there. But no, to answer the questions, I'm sorry, I will not be starting Malazan early. So what have I been doing? Obviously, since I don't have any free time, I've been working on Wheel of Time. I did my wish list right here for Crossroads of Twilight, which is kind of hilarious because everyone told me, hey, nothing happens in this book, and I'm making a wish list. Like I said, I feel like the viewers just kind of expect it at this point before each new book. I started this with Crown of Swords. Actually, I did it right before I did a video, Wheel of Time wish list. What I'm hoping for as I approach the slog, so to speak. So I kind of started then, and that's because I read the first 6 books in like a matter of 8 weeks. So it was something that I had some time to think about it, and so I started doing these wish list things. So I felt like I needed to do it, but even though most of the comments in there were like, haha, that's hilarious that you think this much is going to happen in this book. Definitely not. I know that a lot of it will be probably copy and pasted from my Night of Dreams wish list, and thank you guys for humoring on that. But I'm past the halfway point in this, and while I'll say, yes, I understand why people dislike this book so much, I don't see a ton of difference between it and Path of Daggers, really. At least not so far. I think I was at like 62% this morning. I don't see a ton of a difference. I mean, it's a lot of positioning the pieces on the chessboard. That's about what I expected. But for people just acting like this was just the ugly duckling of the family, at least I haven't got to it yet. No, nothing crazy has happened. But again, no, nothing really crazy happened in Path of Daggers until the very last couple chapters. So if this is Path of Daggers, but with no, battle at the end, is what it is. So, yeah, I guess I feel like maybe what I said in that video is I had set my expectations so low, I don't see any way that I can be disappointed. That's kind of still where I'm at. It's kind of still where I'm at. I got past the Elaine stuff. I'm working through the Egwene stuff now. So, is what it is. We'll see what happens as it goes forward. Everybody just keeps saying, get to Knife of Dreams, man. It's going to be a breeze after that. So I'm hoping so. I am hoping so, because the goal was to get 3 of these done in March, and then the last 2 in the first 2 weeks of April, so I could be ready for that trip. But, if I can get this one done this weekend, maybe I can get, beginning of March, I could be starting the book 11. That'd be really great. That'd be really great to stay ahead of schedule instead of being on the plane to Atlanta for Jordan Kahn and being like reading Memory of Light on the plane. That would definitely not be ideal. I mentioned Brandon Sanderson. I have continued Cosmere 2020. The things I said that is going to be changing on the schedule is I'm still going to be doing Mistborn March. None of the video schedule is going to change. All that's going to be changing is my reading schedule. And what that means is that Mistborn Era 2 was planned to start in April. We're just pushing it back to May now. So just pushing it back 1 month. I'll still be reading The 11th Metal in March. I think it's like 40 pages, short story, so I'm not worried about being able to squeeze that in somewhere. But I will definitely still be doing Mistborn March. There's nothing going to be changing there. And now we've got Mistborn May, because that's when Era 2 starts off. So no harm, no foul there, I don't think. I did do my review for Warbreaker. I'll put that up here for you in case you missed it. I like the book quite a bit. What I said in there is that I felt like it was a 4-star book with a 2-star ending, which is weird because Sanderson endings are usually just grand slams. Had my issues with it, and I started a new format in there where it's mostly non-spoiler. I know a lot of people like my spoiler reviews, but a lot more seem lately to say they do not like them. And so what I've decided to do to find a happy medium is a new format where I talk about basically what I think about the book. I give you a plot synopsis. I give you basically the characters, and then I tell you why I think you should read it before I get into spoilers, where I do not do the full summary rundown of the plot. I'll just talk about the biggest moments and, maybe kind of what they made me feel there. So I started that with this one. With the long series, guys, don't worry, the Wheel of Time videos aren't changing. The Dresden Files videos aren't changing. I'm doing that for something like this where it's one book for now. Or, even if it's a trilogy, I'll probably do this for the Mistborn ones too. If it's something that's small and I feel like people want sold on it, yeah, I'll do the small videos like that, and then I'll do the spoiler ones for the long-running series. I'm not going to do a non-spoiler video for book 9 of 14, I figure by book 9, you're either in or you're out. You don't need me to sell it to you. So for the long-running series, what I'll do is for like book 1 or 2, like I did with Dresden Files, book 1 and 2, I did non-spoiler, and then after that, I did full spoilers, and that's what I'm going to continue to do there. But Mistborn March starts next week. My plan is every Wednesday to talk about Mistborn. The first one next week will be why you should read the Mistborn trilogy. This is just Era 1. And then each Wednesday after that will be Final Empire, Well of Ascension, Hero of Ages, leading us into the end of that, where I'll do like a wrap-up and kind of a preview of Mistborn Era 2 and what I'm looking forward to there. So if you guys haven't had a chance to read Mistborn, now's the time to do it. It's really, as far as Sanderson goes, it's very easy to read, and I feel like you could probably fly through it in a month if you want to. What else? I started a new segment on the channel called Unpopular Opinion, and I'm not sure, it got decent traffic and it got decent comments. I was expecting a lot more hate, to be honest. I kind of set it up that unpopular opinion, everybody has one, but do you have an unpopular opinion where you are like a huge minority? And I couldn't think of a book better to start off that series than with Name of the Wind. I've talked about numerous times on this channel about how I don't understand the undying love that this book has, because I've tried to read it, or I read it. I started it, I shelved it, I picked it back up, I finished it, but I didn't like it enough to go to the second book. But I talk in depth right here about, I don't want to say in depth, it really was a short, and I even say in that video, not much meat, because it was just one of those things I thought of at the last minute. It's like, what can I do to just kind of fill out the week here? And I talked about basically just why the book didn't click for me, and that, it's just an unpopular, it's just an opinion, and you're more than welcome to disagree. Something I feel like we've gotten away from as a people is being able to handle difference of opinion and not wanting to execute everyone who has a different opinion than me. So, hey, if you guys disagree, which most of you do, I know most people love this book to death, and they talk about things where I'm just like, I don't understand that. I didn't get that at all. But check that out. If it's a series that you guys want me to continue, I will, because, we all have unpopular opinions. I mean, we even have them the other way around, where everybody hates a book and you end up liking it. So, we all have these things. It's definitely a segment I feel like I'll keep going with if you guys want me to, because I got a lot of unpopular opinions that I will go into when they get there, and it doesn't just have to be pertain to a book. You know, it could be about a particular character. It could be about a storyline. It could be about Matt and Tylan from Wheel of Time. You know, it could be all kinds of things. Anything that you could really think of, I would cover in that. So if you guys like that, give that video, just check it out, drop a comment, let me know what you think, if you want me to keep doing it or not, because what I've said before is I'm not going to avoid anything. Like I know not a lot, handful of people have been like, you know, don't cover Mallas on. You know, all the other big booktubers are doing it. Why don't you do something else? It's like, I'm going to do what you guys want. I'm going to do what the audience wants. That's why I put up the polls and stuff. So you guys tell me what you want to see, what you want me to talk about. Because I'm not just going to avoid everything that these full-time people who do this as a full-time job and push out way more content than me. I'm not going to avoid what they've done. I'm going to give my spin on stuff. I'm going to talk about stuff that's probably already been talked to death. You know, I haven't read everything. So anyhow, that's what I'm going to do going forward. So if you guys like the Unpopular Opinion segment, let me know. I also finished The Outsider by Stephen King this week. I will say Stephen King should not be able to write this quality at this point in his life. Really, I think I like this more than The Institute. You know, my problems with The Institute, I talked about how maybe having a certain set of expectations actually damaged it a little bit to me. With this, if you've read the Bill Hodges trilogy, you'll get a lot more out of this than if you don't, because there are numerous mentions made to the Bill Hodges trilogy, as there is a character that crosses over from that series into this one, and that's nothing new with King. If you're watching my Into the Multiverse series, you know that King characters do quite constantly cross over. So I don't want to say it's actually like the fourth book in that series, but it makes more sense. You can read it without reading the Bill Hodges trilogy, but it makes more sense. But that leads me into my TV segment here. Is we decided, okay, I finished that, so let's watch the HBO series that's going right now. We're 3 episodes in. Except for some changes to a particular character, I'm like blown away how faithful it is. I love watching an adaptation immediately after you finish a book, because you remember everything from, you know, the color of something that somebody is wearing to, you know, dialogue. And it's spot on. Right away, I'm like, wow, they actually read the book, you know? I tried watching Lock and Key recently. I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel like the comic that I read at all. So far, and I'm sure it's going to deviate and do its own thing eventually, especially if the rumors are true that they want to actually make this a series, not just a limited series, but an ongoing series. Then they're going to change some things probably a little bit. But when I get into my actual review of this, I want to finish the show so I can talk about both the book and the show. And also going to have a collab with Nick Nack's Corners. He's going to come on. We're going to talk about. I think we'll do our spoiler review together. But my comparing the book to the show, I'll do that one on my own. But me and him will do a spoiler review together and talk about what we liked and didn't like. Since he's relatively new to Stephen King, I think it'll be a good conversation between the two of us there. So yeah, I'm always looking forward to collaborating with any other booktubers out there. So you know, you guys are interested in chatting with me, hey, drop in the comments, let me know. So anyway, the show, very good. It's very, very good so far. I can see how people compare it to True Detective. In fact, when I was reading this, I was like, you know what? I feel like Stephen King watched True Detective and said, you know, I can do this. I can do this, and I can add the Stephen King twist to it. So I recommend both the book and the TV show, at least so far. I don't think it's over yet. I think it ends not this Sunday, but the next. So we probably won't catch up by then. But like I said, we watched 3 in the first couple nights. So that's pretty exciting. But I'll end this with talking about another show that I started. Me and my wife always watch, you know, one show together, and I try to have like a show I can watch on my own. Like she just watched that American Crime Story, the O.J. Simpson trial, and you know she likes a lot of the true crime stuff. I'm not nuts about it, but after reading The Outsider, I was really in kind of a detective story mode. So I decided I was going to give this show that Stephen King always talks about, and I mentioned it when I was talking about The Outsider last week. This show on Amazon Prime called Bosh. And this is based off of the Michael Connelly series that I have actually heard about for a long time. I'm just not into detective novels. I'm really not. But every once in a while, you know, I get in that mode. It's like I'm not really into crazy into mob mafia stuff, but you know, I'll watch a Scorsese movie, and all of a sudden I'm like, what else can I read or watch? It's like that. So it's kind of like this. I love Titus Welliver as an actor. I've liked him since Lost. He was on Deadwood, Sons of Anarchy, and I'm like, okay, so this show has always kind of been on my radar because of him. And I'm like, hey, cool, he's finally getting a lead role. He's finally getting his time to shine. Just, you know, one of those little actors that you always see as like a side role in a show, and you think, you know, they're really good. I can't believe they don't actually have their own thing. So it just apparently just got renewed for its 7th and final season, the 6th season is about to start, I believe, in April. I actually saw the author himself, Michael Connelly, talking about it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot because I had many people recommend it to me. I've watched the first two. Very good. I'm not really crazy about cop dramas, but I think about a cop show that I liked a lot. It was called The Shield with Michael Chiklis. It was on FX about a decade ago. Really cool. This isn't quite like that gritty, but it's what it made me think of. It made me think of that, the dirty side of being a cop. And not that it is a dirty cop or anything. I don't know. I don't know enough about him yet, but he definitely seems like the type that doesn't compromise. Got a little bit of Jack Bauer in him in that first episode. So, again, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm looking forward to continuing it because it seems like a pretty cool show. And you know what? Not having to wait between seasons is always something that's fun when you binge watch, right? So, no, I will not be reading the books because there's like 25 of them, and there's spin-off books and all that. I will not be reading the books, so don't hit me with that. I'm sure they're great. They wouldn't have that many of them, and Michael Connelly wouldn't be as well known if they weren't great. I'm just not a big detective story guy. The only reason I read these and the Bill Hodges one is because it was Stephen King. The closest I've come outside of that is maybe Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but it's really outside of my comfort zone. I'm horror, sci-fi, fantasy here, so no, I will not be reading that, but I am enjoying the show so far. No time for gaming, man, because if I'm not doing something with the kids or if I'm not doing schoolwork, it's been reading Wheel of Time. Obviously, so I don't have anything really fancy to tell you about there. No gaming, music, because I've just been studying so much. I just like to pop on some Hans Zimmer like movie soundtracks or something like that. Have a playlist on Spotify that I go to for Hans Zimmer or John Williams stuff. So, when you're studying, you don't want to, or reading a lot, you don't want anything with a lot of words. So I haven't been listening to anything. So, yes, my Korn, Limp Bizkit, Kid Rock, Eminem kind of phase ran its course already. It was fun, though. It was fun. I was having a good time. So what about you guys? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you playing? What are you listening to? Drop in the comments. There are no wrong answers here. Tell me what you think about this stuff, guys, and I will talk to you there.